This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
Let's see if I get super mad at Facebook this week.
Smooth sailing for me. Come on, 2 for 2.
Share. Oh, look at that. Include original post.
Hey, Facebook.
Good job.
Thanks, fellas.
I was even able to share it as myself. It was great. Went wonderfully.
All right. Welcome to episode 174. Not without drama.
No. I mean, we're only 8 minutes late. That's fine.
Only 8 minutes late over something, a freak occurrence.
Our guest let all the dogs out.
Sorry. Just call us the Baha Man because...
Brooks walking by the curtain, she was like that mouth, that could have been really bad. She was going up the stage, or stairs. Stage.
Yeah.
Release the hounds on you guys.
Yeah, so our fans of the show know that my my dog Eisen, he's the one that barked, the little black one that was barking like a madman. He likes to hang out during the show and shit once in a while when he's allowed. But I have my mom's dogs, and one of them got out. The one that is not supposed to get out ever got out. We all have Caitlin of Monte to thank for that. Hi, Caitlin.
Hey guys, how are you? Sorry about that entrance.
It's totally fine because I found him.
Oh,
had I not found him, you would have gotten a stern talking to from my mother. And you don't want to talk to my mom. You don't want to see her when she's angry. She's a redhead. She gets all crazy.
Don't want to mess with that.
I'm sure she's watching this right now in Texas.
And is super upset.
Terrified and freaked out. He's home. He's safe. He's fine.
Yeah.
He was only gone for what, 10 minutes?
If that.
If that.
Yeah.
So thanks. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
For those of you who might not, who don't know or might not remember, see, I was going to use the time that I had chasing the dogs to ask you if it was okay to talk about your previous projects.
I kind of just want to talk about my own thing today.
Right on.
Damn it. Off air?
Off air, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Well, I can mention it though, real quick.
Absolutely,
Caitlin was originally with Bay Patrol. We had them on. It was
one of our first live interviews.
Yeah, it was our first live interview, and it went fine.
It happened. Nobody got hurt. It was fine.
Almost.
Yeah.
You guys almost died under that tent
That was rough
at the Dark Side Bazaar.
Very hot.
And also at Hope Rocks. And now you've struck out on your own.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's the project's called Monte, MONTE. And I'm saying it right, like full card Monte
totally.
kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first single, Bitch, is
What's
out.
a full card Monte?
I don't really know. Or what's a half card Monte?
No, it's
a full Monte.
That's what you're thinking.
No, full card Monte.
It's 4 card Monte.
Oh, 4? Oh, I'm thinking the full Monte, which is that male strip that it was a British movie, right? And then
Magic Mike.
And Magic, Magic Mike. Yeah, that's perfect.
It would be like normally it's 3 card Monte,
Magic
right?
Michael.
That's the thing.
3 card Monte.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that was the thing. Okay. Now that we got that straightened out, you got the new single "Bitch" out, and it's on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon and all that. I think it's great.
Thanks.
I really enjoyed it. It's got, how do I say this? It's got all the attitude I was expecting from you.
That was what I said to her too. I was like, it was exactly what I expected.
It was exactly what I expected. It's a departure from what I've heard from you from before, which is good because it's a lot less pop to me. It was funny. I was listening to the Hype soundtrack. I've been listening to it this week. I don't know if you know what that is.
I've heard of it.
There's a movie called Hype. I have it up here. It's a documentary, a very tongue-in-cheek documentary about the grunge explosion. Yes, don't touch
Is that a VHS?
It is a VHS.
Definitely heard.
Probably it might be the last remaining copy of that movie on this. Well, you have.
I have one.
Okay,
I bought one at the Dark
two.
Side Bazaar because I had mine from high school when I bought it, and the dog peed on it. And as you can see, mine wasn't one of these. This is probably you got it from Blockbuster.
That was stolen from Video Update.
Stolen from Video Update. So it's like not the real cover. So mine had like the paper cover, and as you can see, it's white. So it was just not salvageable. And I'm like, I'm not keeping this to watch it. I'm keeping this for nostalgia. So I just got rid of it.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Dark Side Bazaar, and I bought Wayne's World 2 and Hype.
I found it on YouTube and watched it instead of finding a VCR and hooking it up to my fucking TV. But the moral of the story is there's a couple bands on there, the Gits and 7 Year Bitch. I would say the Gits more. And
so much.
As soon as I heard Bitch, I'm like, yes, that's what it sounds like. Sounds like old fucking good grunge punk.
Love that.
I think it sounds great, and it's got your little like 80s glam flair in there too, which I mean, it sounds great. I hate 80s music.
Well, I guess it's more like the classic metal vibe. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess the foundation of like what heavy metal that makes sense.
Totally.
We're in there. So. Talk to me about the process, everything.
All right. This song I wrote it a very long time ago. I was probably in 10th grade, 11th grade. And it's adapted, obviously, with my music. I guess, I'll talk about the process. I wrote it on guitar, obviously. I'm really into the heavy guitar work, and I like working with intros and outros and just having fun listening to my inspirations like the Plasmatics, the Lunatics, and even like anything like Dio, like if we're talking 80s classic metal, stuff like
I definitely hear that.
Definitely a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Just a little bit, and that's kind of my foundation, like as a musician, hearing these bands, Iron Maiden especially, just like sitting and listening and learning these songs. I'd play on repeat over and over again, like Aces High, and I'd learn it, and I would write based on all of these great guitarists. So I sat down and I wrote some guitar parts, and I guess the lyrics started it was written after a relationship fallout where I was called a bitch for I don't even remember what at this point. And I was like, you know what? Well, fine. I am a bitch. Whatever. I'm going to write this song, and it's going to kick your ass because that's what I wanted to do. And I guess over the years and working in different parts of a bunch of different industries, whether it's music or in the service industry, if you're an opinionated woman and you speak your mind and you say something, you're automatically labeled a bitch or a bully or a shark or a bulldog, something with a negative connotation to it, not an outspoken person or a strong, opinionated woman. You're a bitch. So part of this, as I've worked through the song, developed this other meaning, which is you can say what you want. I'm going to say what I want. And if you think I'm a bitch, then fine, I'm a bitch. But I'm going to still be opinionated and strong and say what I'm going to say without, hearing it from you. Because quite frankly, I don't care what you have to say.
It's interesting. I think, and I don't know, this might sound like ignorant or whatever the hell, but I think lately there's been a lot more attention being paid to female-fronted bands, solo female artists, and especially in punk and rock and roll right now too. and it's just it's fun to listen to because I'm listening to a lot more bands that are fronted by females than I have ever listened to before. Like I mentioned, 7 Year Bitch, The Gits, and everything. I don't know any of their albums, but I listen to Dead Sarah now. I really like them.
They're fucking awesome.
I liked Wolf Alice.
Great.
I just picked back up on the on Sonic Youth. They kind of like the dual thing, and there's just a lot of great rock coming out, and I find it's strange because of all this. Like you mentioned, the bitch comment. That's kind of like it's almost new sentiment that everybody's realizing what they're saying now when it comes to I don't even know how to put this, like men and women in music, or men and women in society and everything like that, and being like, because my wife, she's
kind of a bitch.
She's kind of a bitch sometimes. But I say that jokingly, but she's like that. She'll tell you how it is. She doesn't give a fuck how she comes off, and it's not because she's mean. It's because she's not afraid.
Right.
And I think I think the fact that female-fronted bands and everything like that are in the spotlight now, it's better for music in general, because we're seeing this. Now we're seeing from both sides, and now your voice is being heard more than all as a woman. Your voice is being heard more now in music than I think ever before, which is great because it's an incredible platform for a lot of people. Music helps. Music does things to people on all over the scale. Makes you angry, makes you sad, and whatever. It makes you think. And that's what's kind of amazing about it, in my opinion.
No, totally. I completely agree. And I'm also, when I'm listening to songs or I'm listening to bands that I like, I'm not just listening to their music. I'm listening to the lyrics, because I'm a big lyrics person. I want to hear the words. I want to feel what you're saying. And the Gits are great. I love the Gits, and they're a big part of them are the lyrics. Same with the Lunatics or the Plasmatics. They have something to say, whether or not they're joking or they're being satirical. They're saying something, and they want you to hear it. So it's really aggressive and really rough, and it's kind of grabbing you by the collar and shaking you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially punk rock.
Totally.
Women in punk rock that's even more shocking for to lack of a better term for some people.
Yeah.
To see this aggressive, no fucking pits unshaved and everything like that, freaking out. I've seen, I've watched the video. I've watched their fucking videos. Gets on YouTube and shit. Like they don't fuck around. And people like Wendy O. You mentioned the Plasmatics with the friggin' X's on her nipples and everything while she's singing. I would say it freaks out the men more than the women.
Totally.
But if you get past that and you just treat her or any other female singer as or band as just a regular fucking performer, it's not that fucking scary.
Right.
You
yeah,
know?
I mean, you look at the Doors and Jim Morrison and flashing everybody. I mean,
pissing on the front row sometimes.
Like, even these
machismo. Gigi Allen.
Yeah,
Gigi Allen used to throw shit
he's
at the
a whole
crowd.
special breed of person thing.
I just don't. Who would go to that show?
Who would go to that show?
Lots of people not expecting to get shit thrown at them.
But that's what
it's just like all the people who have been to one already. They're just like, don't go in the. Why are you in the front row? Don't do that.
Stay by the exit for a quick escape. That's a rough show to be at.
Yeah, I mean.
There are very few things that are like still illegal to do on stage, and throwing shit at the audience is definitely illegal in New York State. I would imagine.
You go to these. Back then, it was like house party gigs.
Yeah.
There was like the video I saw of him throwing shit at people was like a cassette. Like,
was it his own
like
shit?
video.
Did he like shit on stage and then throw it at people?
He was naked and he shit on stage and started picking it up and just throwing it at the crowd while they were pitting.
What number was it?
What number? What?
The number of the poop.
It was. I don't remember the scale. Is it 1 is the hard and 7 is really soft?
I think so.
All right.
I mean, just for the sake of this argument, we'll just talk about.
I'd call it. I'd call it a 5 or a 6.
So it was pretty soft.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it was pretty soft. Like,
I mean, if it's just gonna bounce off you, it's not that bad. But
right.
If you got to throw out your flannel.
Yeah, I don't know if
Did you want to introduce yourself?
Oh,
Because
yeah, I'm
people,
sorry. I'm just
people
like,
watching on YouTube are like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Me-
Just taking notes.
I'm being completely rude.
She's a court-appointed person who's here just to make sure we don't abuse
Caitlin's
people.
parole officer.
Yeah, right. Keeping me in check. No, I actually brought Andy here because she's doing something really awesome in music, too. She has created Women That Rock, which is an online platform dedicated to women in music. And it's awesome. And every day she's posting 2 times a day a new artist, a new like chick, whether or not she's in metal or pop or R&B or anything, really all genres across the spectrum. She has definitely contributed to them. Yeah, on the site. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Instagram.com/women-that-rock.
Yeah.
And they have live events too, and it's
So
really
it'd be at
cool.
Women That Rock on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, at Women That Rock on Instagram.
So I mean, everything you're saying is super topical for what I'm doing with Women That Rock. It's a project I founded 7 months ago, and it's just like exploded. I mean, I had no idea what I was stepping into. I kind of started the account on a whim. Caitlin and I were sitting on her couch one night talking about women in music and all these different ideas, and Women That Rock kind of just like came to life. And I started it, like I said, on a whim with like a random little icon and just like reaching out to some of my friends who are artists. And I didn't know if in 2 days I'd just walk away and be like, I'm bored, like this isn't catching on, whatever. And literally in days, I had hundreds of inbox messages of women being like, this is so awesome, I love this, like how do I get involved, how can, like, thank you so much for what you're doing, this is incredible. And it's just like grown exponentially since then. I mean, it's been 7 months and we're at about 6,000 followers on Instagram. All organic, awesome. Like 100% organic growth.
That's great.
We have a website, we have partnerships with women's magazines where we do like monthly articles.
We've been doing this 3 years. We got like 115, 120 on Instagram.
Well, it took a lot of work, a lot of late nights of like, messaging people and tagging people and following and all that stuff. But no, it's been amazing. And it just seems like the more it grows, the faster it grows. And we also in April started our live events platform. So now we're doing like 1 to 3 live showcases, concerts, parties, music related events in New York and the surrounding areas. Our debut showcase is at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn in April.
Sick.
And we packed the house.
A lot of history, that place, yeah.
Yeah. We packed the house. It was 4 female-fronted bands. Since then, we've done, like I said, 1 to 3 showcases a month. Our last one was at Brooklyn Bazaar, which is also a packed house. Super awesome. Jim Shorts was there and played. They're from Rhode Island. I don't know if you know them. It's just been amazing.
But it's a great name.
Yeah, they're an amazing. We went and saw them shooting their music video the next day. They were like in Greenpoint at some random warehouse, like where one girl was dressed as like a mermaid.
It was very Brooklyn.
Very Brooklyn.
Like there was a bubble machine. It was an adult baby.
An adult baby. Yeah. I got like the director was also starring in the music video and he was wearing a diaper. It's a lot to process, but in the best way. So yeah, no, it's been crazy, and clearly there's like a huge demand. I mean, I've never had like a message be clearer or louder to me when starting a new project that like women want this, women need this, the world really needs this. So
it's almost strange. I sit back. I work working with Kathleen. She was on the show. Somebody I work with.
Fucking feminazi. The worst.
She's like, she's a nut when it comes to that stuff. But opened my eyes to a lot of just weird things that I just thought was normal or, whatever within, society or anything that just is just wrong when it comes to just, speaking to women in general. I mean, most people, just if you're just not a dick, then it's fine. But there's people out there that you're just like, well, dude, what are you thinking when you're speaking to people like speaking to women?
You
like
call
this?
your fucking barista honey and darling.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that's pretty fucked up to do.
Oh yeah.
But it kind of snapped me into looking back as to being exposed to just I'm gonna keep coming back to this. It's just amazing to me to see how many. I've never seen anything like it before. How many female-fronted bands, even movies, what was that movie that just came out? It was. It doesn't matter. I'm just rambling on and on, just because it's kind of shocking that. I mean, at the risk of sounding like a douche, how suppressed it seems like everything was from the female side of music for a while. I mean, the big names, of course. You know, there's plenty of.
Well,
big
I think a
name
lot of it starts when you're being raised as a child.
Yeah.
You know, you're like a little kid, and you're taught that girls can't do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do stuff.
Right,
Today,
so you give one girl a Barbie and the boy the G.I. Joe, and
Yeah.
you say, you know, that's your role in life.
G.I.
now.
Joes can shoot guns and play a guitar.
Right. Totally.
Barbie can't do shit but drive
No.
around in a convertible.
You can try really hard to look for a gem doll,
Yeah.
but, you know, good luck with that, right?
Yeah. So I think that's where it all starts, and I think that it was going to take a long time, and we're getting to the point now where people are not raised that way. And it's going to incremental change. Like I said, it's going to be great when everyone who is shitty is dead.
It's
because they're going to be dead soon.
It's
Except
not.
They're all in
shitty
their
people have
50s.
kids,
It's going to
though,
be a
those shitty
lot.
people,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
gonna,
You know,
it's
it's
going to
just-
be a long time.
Yeah.
You're a lot more optimistic than I am.
Yeah, because those shitty people breed shitty kids.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
just,
I
you
know, but
But they breed
the-
a lot of shitty kids.
lot of
That's the
shitty,
thing.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
right?
the idiocracy.
I
thing.
swear to God,
Yeah.
it's scary.
But the positive, I guess, to all of the shittiness that's going on right now, like if we think, I mean, not to talk politics, but to think about what's happening politically right now and sort of the spotlight that it's setting on all of these issues is in a lot of ways a big positive, right?
Oh,
Because like it's
yeah.
shitty stuff is happening, but it's making people wake the fuck up.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Pay
A lot of people are
attention.
saying even if Trump's a two-term president, that rubber band effect that's going to happen, we're going to have the most socialist president that's ever fucking been. You know, if he gets even if he gets elected to a second term, it's going to snap so far left after that shit's going to change a lot, and then it'll fucking rubber band back and forth for a while. But
it's yeah, you're right. It's making people choose sides.
Yeah.
Not yeah. I don't want to. It doesn't. I'm sure it's not as black and white, but it's at the same time.
Well, I
it's
think
just like,
I think
you
women
need
are tired of being quiet,
Mm.
frankly, which is a lot about what bitch is about. It's a lot about what Women the Rock is about. I mean, women are tired of being treated that way. All the women who are standing up against Harvey Weinstein and all the predators, like people are just not okay with being quiet anymore, and like that's gonna hopefully have a trickle down effect over time.
Yeah. Okay. But I don't know.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was gonna.
It's hard being a white man right now, huh?
Yeah. It's
yeah,
like,
it's so hard.
I don't really know.
Can't
what to say.
keep up with my tiki torch budget. It's terrible.
So what got you playing guitar? How long have you been
man.
playing? First of all.
I've been playing for about 17 years.
Oh, wow.
I started when I was 10. My music has always been a huge part of my family to begin with. My father was a musician. He paid his way through college playing in a band.
No kidding.
He played bass in a band called the Savage Generation, and they were big in the 60s. They were signed to Senate Paramount Records. They
What kind of
played-
music?
it was like hard rock, 60s rock.
Wow. All right.
And my dad was always a big Who fan. So I grew up listening to The Who and the Beatles and all of the great classic rock. And then my mother, who's like some music savant, she knows every artist ever, like from the 40s.
It's the only thing he's good at.
Yeah, from like the 40s to pretty much now. I mean, but she spent her college years disc jockeying and buying records. So I've always had music in my life, and she played piano. So I grew up, I started playing piano. I played violin when I was in school, and that sucked a lot. And I didn't read music. That was the other thing. I played everything by ear. So I would...
Starting to hate you.
Yeah.
It always goes this way. At least she wasn't like, yeah, I've been playing for like 3.5 years.
Yeah, right?
Because we get a lot of that. And he's like, you
And
fucking
they're just
piece of
like,
shit.
it's like,
We have a name for people like you. They're called multi-instrumental pieces of shit.
right. That's me,
Yeah.
100%. No, so I grew up playing all these different things and different instruments, and guitar stuck. My dad always played guitar in the house. I picked it up when I was in 5th grade, and my first guitar was this big electric, like, Ibanez Destroyer, because I was like, I'm going to be like Iron Maiden. Like, I was in 5th
I think
grade.
I know what that fucking thing looks
I was
like.
like, yeah, it's like a black, and it looks almost like a Gibson, like a Firebird type thing, but it's It's this sweet metal guitar, and I actually got the same strap that I have on my SG.
Like this?
Yeah, that's it. That nice. Like it was in black. It's the one right above it. Right above. That's it. That's the guy. Oh my god, I love that guitar. It sounded so gnarly though, and so I learned on that.
That's still on your wall, right?
It's still on my wall. I still play it sometimes. It's great.
It's decoration now?
It's not decoration. It's just like, well, I can use it sometimes. It needs a little bit of work done. I'm like, my goal in the next year is to like soup that thing up and bring it back.
It's very metal.
Oh yeah, it was like I was listening to like I don't even remember at the time, just a whole bunch of weird stuff. I listened to everything from hip hop, like bad gangster rap, to like to Korn in 5th grade. 6th grade.
Everyone listened.
Everybody listened to Korn then. Yeah. So
no one
like,
wanted to admit it, but they did.
Yeah, one of my good friends was like a member of the Tool fan club, so like rough. That was like 6th grade. So I picked up that guitar and I taught myself. I had a couple of lessons, and I mean I had a guy that I worked with for a couple of years, and then I just went off and did my own thing. I started writing around high school, like really, or 8th grade. I ended up leaving the school I was in, and I went to boarding school. I brought my guitar. I spent a lot of time writing there because it was a miserable place. So it was just like bleak on a snowy mountain. It was horrible.
Where?
It was Storm King. It was Cornwall and Hudson.
It's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
an
right-
hour south of here.
yeah.
I know where that is.
It was just like a not.
It sucks down there.
Oh, it sucks. Oh my God, you're telling me. I was living it. It was the worst. So I was there. I had all these like horrible like relationships and all
So
these.
you went to the school, the
I
Storm
went to the
King.
yeah, I went there
Storm
for 2
King
years.
school.
Yeah.
We had a transmitter there. I used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
It used to creep me out.
It's creepy as hell. I went back recently to see what it was like, and it was like going into a ghost town, and nobody was there, and it was haunted looking. It was run down. Anyway, so I was up there writing music, and I was in and out of different bands, and playing, I guess. So yeah, I've just been writing and working on different things. I picked up drums too when I was younger, so I would always like make my own demos.
Did
so.
you have anything better to do
No, I
than
didn't.
play music?
No,
and,
I had
and
no
get
friends.
good at your instrument?
All my friends were musicians, so we would always just play. So, yeah, I mean, I wrote my own demos, and then
That's my problem.
Yeah.
I got friends with a bunch of drunks.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were that
I don't
too.
do anything.
Oh, we were that too. I stopped drinking because I drank too much in high school. So that was that. And I guess I started getting really serious about it in college when I thought that was going to ruin my musical career. I ended up going to the new school. I went for film at first. And I ended up changing my major to music because I started just writing all of the scores and getting more interested in the music stuff than the film. And I mean, I started a band, and I did my final project was like punk rock and noise. So like it was totally cool. I mean, it's the new school. They don't really teach you anything, so you could do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Punk rock and noises in what? Like a performance or
yeah,
a paper?
I did a performance.
Oh, I was gonna say. I'm
And
like,
a paper. No, you have to write. So I wrote.
it's about punk rock. It's all about the Misfits and the Butthole Surfers.
Pretty much.
Here's an hour and a half of noise.
Part of it, maybe. No, it was kind of about what we're talking about now, which was women in punk rock and how they've changed and gotten more confident in the music capability over the years. So I wrote a piece and I covered a song, and I
What song?
did what I wanted to do. I covered Badass Bitch by the Lunatics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
And it comes full circle.
And it comes full circle. That was a huge inspiration. Yeah. I mean, college was a whole bunch of who knows what. I don't even remember what I did in college. I remember I went there and then I left there.
It's funny. There's a lot of people in the entertainment business that I've like spoken to. I mean, just local and stuff like that. A couple people like where I used to intern and everything. But it's mostly people go, yeah, I went to college and I just sucked at it, and I left, and now I'm making music for a living.
I wish I never
It's
went
just
to
like-
college.
I say that sometimes.
I mean, the second, like, I graduated from a school. I had a career for like 10 years, and then I went back to school. The going back to school, that was pretty great. Like, I just got another associate's degree because I wanted to pursue other things. And I had a really good experience with that, and it wasn't that expensive. I didn't need to go to that tech school. I didn't feel like I didn't learn anything. So I really feel like when my kids are talking about going to college, I'll be like, think about not going to college. It's totally fine.
Totally.
Take 2 years.
It's not for
It's
everybody.
not, yeah. I mean, you're going to live to be 100, maybe 150 by that fucking point.
Especially when you have kids
Yeah.
and college costs
Yeah.
$100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
like
Maybe buy
I
a
was
house.
I was fortunate that, you know, my parents were able to cover my first round of college. It was like $30,000.
Right.
You know, then he's still paying for it, I'm sure. But they were in a position where they could go, we'll take care of your college as long as you get good grades.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. But honestly, I showed up my first day of work as a mechanic. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea.
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
went
doing.
went
Yeah.
away for a year.
Yeah.
Was it 2 years?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 19 months, something like that. It's like a very short program, but you're there 40 hours a week.
I went to an audio
Yeah.
production school down
Yeah.
in the City Institute of Audio Research, and
nice.
I mean, I came away with a shitload of knowledge, but I found I learned more working at the end of the year that I was there, working in the studio with bands, miking up bands, and learning from these assistant, just
Like
learning by
interning
doing.
and
But that's kind of my thing. I don't.
Yeah.
If you explain to me how things are done, I literally just
glaze-
I'm
glaze
staring
over,
at you,
stop paying
I'm
attention.
staring at you, nodding, but I'm not hearing a fucking word that's
Mhm.
happening. It's just bouncing off of me.
Yeah. No, I went to school. I did audio production. I ended up graduating with a degree in contemporary music and audio production. So it just basically means I wrote a bunch of songs and I recorded a bunch of songs, and I could have done that without going to school,
Mhm.
And I did learn more, like working in the industry and in several music studios. I worked at Electric Lady for a couple
No
months.
shit.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
it was
wow.
very intense, and it was a little bit hectic and crazy, but I learned more there than I learned in college for sure.
Yeah. Were you
Yeah.
assistant?
I was like
engineer
yeah,
type
I was-
thing, runner?
Yeah, I was like a runner, and then I was doing a little bit of assistant stuff, but it was just a lot of late nights is what
Hell
it was.
yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah. It was fun
I
though.
had to bail out. I used to intern at Sony Recording Studios, which is not. It's nothing. It's
Right.
delivering. It's delivering a fucking Korg
Right.
keyboard and plugging it in and saying okay and leaving.
Yeah, right.
Throwing a couple mics up and then goodbye.
Right.
Have fun
Oh.
with Christina.
going and buying a vaporizer for famous rappers.
Yeah.
Right.
Snoop Dogg's producer had me go all the way downtown to buy a fucking vaporizer because, and I quote, he can't smoke a traditional pipe because it hurts his lungs.
Snoop?
Snoop.
No, his producer or whatever producer he was using at the time.
Interesting.
I'm keeping
And it's
it a
like, I
little
can't
vague.
not smoke weed.
I can't not smoke weed, so I got to find
I'm
something
Snoop
else.
Dogg's producer.
Oh, and yeah, it was like a fucking monsoon, and I had to go up to Times Square to get a
And this is in like 2005?
6.
2006. So
NBA
vaporizers were not a thing yet.
right.
NBA 2K. It was like NBA 2K6. I had to buy that for
I can't believe you remember that.
what
Well,
was his
Snoop
name?
Dogg's
Lazy
producer
Bone.
asked you to do something. You're going to remember that.
No, it's not Snoop. It was Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Right.
he was doing a solo thing, and he
Yeah,
wanted
how'd
it.
that go for him?
I don't know. When I dropped off the game, I was up to my fucking knees in, soaked. I was just completely soaked. Like I got to the point where I didn't need my umbrella anymore because it wasn't
It was
mattering.
just keeping your head
And
dry.
I just handed him the game, and he was sitting down to a nice dinner of Chinese food. He was just like, "Thanks, man."
Right.
And went back to eating. I was just like, "Sweet."
It's such a degrading feeling.
Oh, it's
though, right?
horrible.
It's the worst. I remember, doing things like that and being there from like 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. the next morning and just being like, man, like, what am I doing with my life here? Like, I got to do something for myself. Like, I can't keep like working for the man because nothing ever changes. You got to do it for yourself. But yeah, definitely some crazy experiences.
I had an,
for
I had an
sure.
intern desk one time that was in the back of a merch closet. Like, there was like
So you're just
there was,
surrounded
like-
by T-shirts
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah, like actually the truth. Like it was the guy's office. Then his assistant sat outside of his office
On the
and
floor.
Then behind her desk was a door to a literal merch like storage closet, and in the back of the storage closet was my desk.
Yeah, you're the.
And you're like, I am the lowest on the totem pole of life.
Can you say where that was?
I mean, sure, Geffen Records.
No shit, Geffen fucking Records. Jesus Christ.
In California. Yeah. I got sushi, and I sat in a closet.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I was sitting across from a chain-smoking crazy tech. He was always cursing. He was like, "Oh, fuck it, I hate my job, I hate my life, I hate you, I hate this," and he was a rough dude.
I can't wait to be an engineer.
Right, and that was like what I had to look forward to.
Yeah, the fucking horror stories that I was told by guys. He's like, yeah, there's been plenty of nights where I stopped, I rubbed my eyes, and I curled up underneath the soundboard and went to sleep for a few hours, and then got back up and continued. I was like, yeah, that sounds like great. That sounds great. I definitely want to do this for the rest of my life.
You gotta respect those guys.
Yeah, the unsung heroes, huh?
Seriously,
making you actually sound decent.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the guy I use to record, because I want to give him a big shout out. Chris Krasnow is my engineer who I've used before, and he's a good friend of mine. And he's just this little mad genius who's really great. And
he's based out of the city.
He's based out of the city. He has his studio. They're called Wonder Park Studios. They just moved locations. They're in downtown Brooklyn. And it's a pretty sweet deal, and the deals are awesome. So his price is right, and he's a good guy. So if anybody's in New York City and wants to go get your stuff recorded for a good price, Wonder Park Studios is the place to do it.
He just recorded, or did he help produce?
He recorded it. He also played drums on the track.
No shit.
He's another multi-instrumental piece.
He's one of these. Yeah,
he can literally play anything.
I mean, he's great. If you look him up, he definitely he plays like trombone, drums, bass. He's everything. And the guy I used for mastering is Kevin Blackler for Blackler Mastering, and he's awesome. He does like in studio mastering, so you go in, you talk it through, and you just get a beautiful
so you sit
work.
Through and that's fucking great.
You sit and you talk to him, and he walks you through everything, and it's also like really cool to see it in process.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Because
Mastering's like like a whole nother type of wizardry.
Magic.
Yeah.
I've asked him what he's doing, and he explains it. And I went to engineering school too. I don't understand anything he's telling
It's
me.
weird.
It's weird, and he's magical. I don't know how he does what he does, but he'll like press a button and it changes everything. I'm like, ah.
He also cross-checks the songs on like a Bose like radio speaker, like a clock radio from the 90s.
And
Some of the
it's amazing.
Some of the mastering guys at Sony had the, $12,000 speakers that are shaped in the inside cones are shaped like your inner ear and stuff like that. And then they have these incredible near field monitors that are smaller. So it's like some people, and then they got this fucking half-assed wired together car speaker just in a box that they found at some wooden box on the side of the road that they just cobbled together. It's the shittiest sounding thing you can find, and they just run through the fucking how it sounds on the great speakers, how it sounds on the good speakers, how it sounds on the okay speakers, and the dog shit garbage that people are going to be listening to in their fucking car, and they just run down the line.
Yeah. It kind of would make sense to really master everything to iPhone earbuds, because that's what fucking everybody's listening to.
I guarantee you that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
I've never, you never.
To be honest, like those are my favorite headphones. They really are. I really like these, but I would never wear these anywhere but here.
Oh. Well,
I wouldn't sit on a train wearing something like this. I just because I want to be able to hear if somebody's coming up from behind me.
Oh yeah, you're getting stabbed in the face a bunch.
Yeah.
The defensive listening.
Yeah. Well, I think that the reason that I really like the iPhone earbuds is you can still hear everything that's happening around you.
Right.
You know?
They're not completely
they're not
isolated.
noise
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I've never owned a pair.
Yeah, I can't.
I need ones that you can jam like way down in the canal.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, like I had mine the silicone ones. I have Bluetooth ones. I only use them when I mow the lawn, so that I can hear because I'm listening to like a podcast. So the iPhone ones don't work. And then I'm in the house, and I turn around, and my brother's been talking to me for a while, and I'm listening to a podcast, not even music, and I couldn't hear him at all. I was like, he could have hit me in the back of the head with a bat, and I wouldn't have seen it coming.
Yeah.
That's why I just can't do it. But I guess it's kind of a paranoid thing.
My wife yells at me too. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, I wanted to ask. Yeah, we got a little bit of time. I wanted to ask about well, obviously Chris played drums on the track. Obviously you did all the guitars,
And
bass too.
I did the bass on it as well, and wrote the bass lines.
And sang, of course.
And I did the harmonies. Andy also put like a harmony or two on some of the
Oh,
tracks.
cool.
He was a singer in the
Subtle singer. I sang as a kid. I mean, I sang like commercial jingles as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, when I was like
Anything
7.
we could pull up?
Oh yeah.
I am not telling you that information.
Why not?
Come on.
Let's have some fun.
Oh no.
Come on,
I'll spill the beans if you
the
don't.
best one.
Well, oh god. Okay. There's if you Google or YouTube Rooms to Go Kids commercial, there's one that like the video got like a lot of weird attention, but the video like
which one?
Where is it? That one.
This
down,
one?
down, the 30K view. That one.
All right.
I need a place, call it my world, talk with my boys.
So that's not.
No.
So
she's
that's not the
singing.
girl singing. That's
No.
you.
Do you think that that's how the world works?
It's like
Nothing
Milli
is as
Vanilli
it
over
seems.
here.
Yeah, why does this get... It's just pedophiles watching this.
Oh yeah.
That's 100%.
yeah.
All right, pause it. We're gonna get tagged.
But the
We might get
the
tagged
lyrics
just for
were-
that. Yeah.
The lyrics were, "I'm in my room a lot. It's not a parking lot. I like to work there and just get away." Like the lyrics
What?
were just
Did you write them?
no.
Get away from me.
No.
What?
No.
That's so spooky.
It was a lot. I was, young.
How old
whatever.
And what was this advertising for?
Like a kids furniture, like this company called Rooms to Go. They're in the South. They sell furniture, and they had like a kids line. I don't know. I got paid a lot of money. So I was happy as a clam.
How old were you when you did that?
Honestly, I don't even. I remember I got paid $1,000 for an hour's worth of work, and I was like,
Wow.
"All right, dope.
Pretty good.
I'll sing as much about furniture as you'd like."
Fuck yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the creepy lyrics. Give me more.
I was listening to Two Unemployed Radio Guys podcast.
Ah, yes.
And they've been doing voice work on Fiverr. Have you heard of this website?
I've heard of Fiverr. I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
So it's basically you just people go, "Hey, can you do this, spot?" And they use it in their commercial, and it's like $5 you make off of it.
Sounds lucrative.
So I've been thinking about doing something like that.
It's a
do it.
freelance services marketplace.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that makes a lot
so
of
like
sense.
so somebody could go to you and say how much to do like production for my podcast, like for intros and shit. And you can say
sign up for that
you
shit.
could say it'll be $10 until but if you wanted to monetize your podcast, then it's $150 or something like that.
I should check that out. Maybe
Yeah.
I can do some voiceover work.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You're really bad at voiceover work. You're good at production. You're real bad at voiceover work. Here,
I mumble a lot.
What do you got? Is this not? You got my computer turned up?
No.
Logistics on the air. Figuring out what to do with the show.
Hey, thanks. Pretty good, right?
It's great
Hitting
for
all
our
the
show,
notes.
but could you imagine if you were like, "Can you make a jingle for like this?" We'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, what
Oh man, then we got this. We might as well do this
all right.
real quick before we go to break. It's what are you drinking?
See, I'm pretty good at
Yeah,
this stuff.
so I've already had 3 beers.
Oh, Jesus. What just did you taste them?
No,
what did they
it's
taste
just
like?
because in all of these music interviews, he does all the talking, and I can barely even get a word in. So I just
savant
drink
thing.
a bunch of beers. So what are you guys drinking?
I got
Tell us
this,
what you think.
Blue Point Toasted Lager.
Take a big sip and tell us what you...
Why do you look in pain?
Delicious. I love me a good Blue Point Toasted Lager. Always smooth. That's really kind of good. I like it.
Never
What are
had
you
it before?
I have had. I've had a different toasted lager. I don't know if I've had Blue Point. I think I've had Fat Tire.
Fat Tire's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was going to ask why
My
is your
penis is
why
crooked.
Your penis crooked?
Sorry.
I was gonna ask if we could talk about the dildo that's just like, bopping.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Bopping towards
It's
me.
the bell.
Got
It's
it.
the bell.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah.
Got it.
It might come up. It may come up or it may not. Again. Maybe some
did
people.
you
Some
want to
people
talk
pick it
about the Ballast Point Sculpin?
Sure. I'm drinking a Ballast Point Sculpin India Pale Ale. It's fruity. It's hoppy. It was brewed in San Diego, California.
All right,
And,
shout out to San Diego.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's all I got to say about this.
So I also just finished Harpoon's Camp Wanna Mango.
Ooh,
It is
look
a
at that.
mango pale ale, and it's
Ooh.
fucking awesome.
I noticed you didn't offer us
No,
that
'cause
one.
I'm drinking both of them.
He's like, I have one Ballast Point and one toasted lager.
And a
Which would
Zima.
you like? And a PBR.
So you want to smell
Generous.
it?
Yeah, I can't drink
Yeah.
this stuff. Wow, it smells
yeah.
like mangoes.
Yeah, it's delicious. But yeah, Ryan has celiac.
Yeah, I'm drinking Omission handcrafted to remove gluten. Their
Nice.
IPA.
What happens to you if you eat gluten?
Nothing at first, and then I get like severe pains and everything like that.
that's
Then
awful.
eventually cancer and death.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Got it.
it becomes, if I don't keep it in check, it gets really bad.
Yeah.
I had an ex who claimed to be gluten intolerant,
Yeah, a lot of people do.
and then she
Yeah.
proceeded to accidentally eat an entire normal cheese pizza and was
Oh, sure.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not.
There's
celiac.
always
I
like
think
we
you're
work in
fine.
a coffee shop, and we always get like, do you have any gluten-free bagels? No. Okay, I guess a regular one would be fine. No, it won't. If you have any kind of gluten intolerance, it won't be fine. You can eat gluten if you're eating a fucking bagel.
Oh yeah.
Bagels are just gluten.
Just
That's
gluten.
all
Yeah.
it is.
Whenever anybody asks for something gluten free, I say, "Oh, you have celiac?" And they're like, "No."
I do it for health
preference.
I
reasons.
just like, it's either a preference or gluten intolerance. I'm allergic to it and everything like that. And I'm just like, okay, that happens 85% of the time. I've only met
Yeah.
like a handful of people with actually have celiac.
Yeah. And I've met probably 6 or 7, I would say, total at the coffee shop that have celiac in like the 2.5 years that I worked.
And they'll ask, do you have any gluten-free bread? They won't ask for bagels. They'll ask
'Cause
for
they know
bread,
better.
period.
Yeah.
Because
They know there are no gluten-free bagels
And
that
then
taste like food.
they'll ask specifically, is your granola have wheat or is any gluten in it? And no is the answer, but I can smell the people.
Sniff 'em
and I'm
out.
like,
This
actually-
turned into a health and wellness podcast.
Yeah,
Welcome
that's
to
what
Camp
happens.
Radio. Today we're
Last-
talking about gluten intolerances.
Last episode, we had a comedian on, and all we talked about was religion and gay rights.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a good episode. It's a good
Sounds
conversation.
fun. Sounds like a
But I do know one person who has a gluten allergy, not celiac.
Mm-hmm.
So he breaks out in hives.
Yeah.
So I was like, I would be popping 2 Benadryl a day and drinking
Right.
beer. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
So all he drinks is Angry Orchard cider. I'm like, dude, there's better stuff out there.
There's
Such
better
better
stuff.
stuff. Such better stuff.
Such better stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff gives
But
me a
he
headache.
can't even have omission because of the cross contamination.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's an allergy, not an autoimmune thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So interesting.
Tricky stuff.
Yeah, not for me. I drink as much beer as I want. All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah, I'm gonna queue up some. I have to make a new playlist because there's some songs on this other playlist that I have that I can't be playing during the break.
Are we gonna be listening to the recording of Bitch?
I can't. Are you gonna be playing it live?
I can play it. Yeah, I'll do an
Yeah.
acoustic thing.
All right, so let me do this. Let me just play our canned stuff of all the the lovely bands that have been on the show. They give us their music, and I'll just play one at fucking random here. And now it's
No more Logan Callahan, please.
I'll do my best.
Tired of him.
Oh, here we go. Here's a fun one. All right, so we're gonna listen to Womb of Nations and a bunch of other bands. And,
Oh, shout out to JJ from Eye of the Fire because I saw him yesterday. And I
Hey!
forgot who he was for a minute. He's like, JJ, Eye of the Fire. I was like, oh.
And you want to hear something? I saw a Christian at the coffee shop from the Warp the Weft,
Yeah.
and he didn't know who I was. And he's just like, "Where do I know you from?" And I pointed at my shirt, wearing the Dead Radio shirt.
Were you wearing a hat?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, he didn't look like a Progeria kid at
Yeah.
the moment.
So yeah, real quick, it's monte.music on Instagram. All right, you fuckers. We'll pick you back up in a second. Monte.music on Instagram. You got a show coming up on August 28th. That's the one I found. You're very mysterious on social media.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a big social media person. I am on Instagram a lot.
Okay.
Facebook is like a new thing for this project, so I'm trying to build that. It should be Monte the Official.
Oh, shit.
On Facebook. I have another show coming up before that one.
Good.
On the 24th at the Knitting Factory with a friend's band, North by North. And they're from Chicago. They're touring. So I'm going to be catching them at the Knitting Factory. And
if you don't know the Knitting Factory, then I don't want to know you.
The new Knitting Factory in Brooklyn on Metropolitan. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's actually for another Women That Rock event.
Oh, very cool.
And then October, I'm scheduled on a little tour up to Vermont. So I can talk a little bit about that later.
All right, very cool. So, all right. Well, I just want to find you on... We'll find you here.
You'll find me.
I'll figure it all out.
there.
All right, now we'll take a break with...
Yeah, so go to facebook.com/Monte the Official, and you'll find her. Do not just type that in the search bar.
Yeah, because I did that.
Comes up with a couple,
guys.
large black gentlemen.
That's me. That's me. Can't tell.
It's an amazing thing to be confused
That's
with.
how I look online.
All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to get set up. And is it Monte?
Yeah.
Am I calling you Monte?
That's sure.
Or am I calling you Caitlin?
You could call me Caitlin.
All right,
That's fine.
Caitlin's going to set up and play Monte music. How about that?
Hey, that works.
Hi, this is Sal. I'd like to say that you're listening to the Dead Radio Podcast, but nobody listens to the Dead Radio Podcast.
Maybe that's not the best sounder to play when we have guests.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Caitlin of Monte. Yeah.
Cool.
We're going to play some music.
Ooh, music. I'm ready.
So Bitch isn't the only song you got, I'm assuming.
No, it's not. I will gladly play a couple more that I do have. I'm actually planning on releasing the EP in September. So
that was
Bitch
actually
going to
be my...
Yes, so there will be a full EP, 5 songs, and I'm projecting the date to be first couple weeks of September.
All right, cool. Very good. How many songs?
How many am I going to do tonight? Or
No. How many songs
There's
on the EP?
5 on the EP.
5, okay.
Yes.
We had a band that did a 3-song EP, and we thought it was fucking absurd.
Yeah, because they were like, one of them was under 2 minutes. It's like, what are you doing? You paid $200 to produce all of these.
Yeah, right. I know.
So, yeah, if you're interested in checking out Monte, monte.music on Instagram. Also, August 24th at the Knitting Factory. If you don't know where that is, it's in Brooklyn, and then that's all I'm going to give you. August 29th, 2018 at Hank's Saloon in Brooklyn with Basic Bitches, Glazer, and Yoko Forever.
Yes.
Who I don't know. I need to find out why, if that's a sarcasm or not.
I think they're like a all Yoko Ono cover band. I'm actually not 100% sure. I know somebody told me, and I.
That might be worth seeing.
Totally worth seeing. Definitely worth seeing. I am excited for that one.
I just don't feel good about Yoko Ono at all.
I don't think anybody does, really.
All right, cool. So, yeah. What do you know? What do you say?
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Well, you want me to do like 2 in a row, or you want me to do one now and then?
We usually do one
now?
and then we'll see where it goes after that, and then we'll do another, and then probably another.
Okay. Then I guess I'll do Bitch because we're on the subject. Yeah. All right. This is the single, and it's a lot more hardcore than this. Just letting you know. You can't contain it, don't wanna hear your explanation. We've had our better days, lost in a foggy haze. I wake up every single day, never waste my time to pray for no more dreaded fights with you. Call me a bitch, I guess it's true. And if you see me tonight, I will be the bitch you like. And if you see me alive, then I tell you where I was last night. Our harmonies that sing so sweet off flat notes. Now at our feet you were my muse. Now you're mad that world news as much as I would love to lie. Break it down and make you cry. Rather watch you die alone and not have one to call your own. 'Cause if you see me tonight, I will be the bitch you like. And if you see me alive, and I tell you where I was last night. You think I'm nasty, you think I'm vile, you don't trust me on my lifestyle. That makes me sick, don't give a fuck what you think. And I guess that makes me, well, I guess that makes me a fucking bitch. Oh yeah, if you see me tonight, I will be the bitch you like. And if you see me alive, and I tell you where I New strings. So
Tune up all you need.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the very toned down version.
Very toned down.
I had no idea you could sing.
Oh, thank you.
You can sing really well.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I've only ever heard you play guitar and yell and scream in the background.
Yelling and screaming. Yeah, I'm like a big harmonies person. So like I always sang the harmonies when I was in different bands. But
Sure.
there's nothing wrong with fronting. I have no problem fronting a band. It's fun.
All right, so what else you got for us?
Oh, you want me to do another one?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
Well, I mean, talk to us about the next one.
Absolutely. So this next song I wrote, well, first of all, the EP, let me just backtrack, is called Bad Sick Love. And it's basically about how big of a pain in the ass being in love is and how horrible it is when you feel like you've met somebody and it turns out they've been lying to you or they just left you and ghosted you completely, which happened to me in a relationship. I was with somebody for 3 years and then they left and like took the pet and ghosted me. And so this was the aftermath. I wrote this song and it's basically about throwing everything away and trying your best to get over this by either doing drugs or sleeping around or trying to find an outlet that isn't going to make you hurt as much. And it's called No One to Say I Love You. And parentheses, empty. Because that's how it feels when you try to fill a void. You still feel empty.
So it's a happy song.
Very happy.
Somebody took my fucking dog. If Brooke took my dog.
Well, it was a rabbit, so it wasn't that bad. But I mean,
Yeah, rabbits
I'm
suck.
Just kidding.
Brooke took my dog, I'd hunt her down.
No, it was.
I'd be
it
in
was not
jail.
great.
I feel like she wouldn't.
trying to get my
I feel like she'd just leave.
No,
No, it wouldn't be her leaving. It'd be for her asking you to leave. That's how it would go. Do you think you can handle all of this? I don't think so. Just get out.
All right.
Yeah.
So, no one to say I love you. I fall in love too quick, left heartbroken, love sick, alone on a Saturday night, drinking and getting high, trying to forget you and all the lies that you had spewed. You were so untrue, and I'd never felt so overused. Not much to do and there's no one to say I love you too. So I walk the streets at night and find a lover that'll simply do. Ooh, cheap thrills and action. I crave your reaction. By the end of the night I feel so empty, empty, empty. I burn my energy and all our memories. I hoped to erase you, start again, yeah. Brand new, the jar of fireflies by your bedside. Let them free, but they came right back to me. Give me your antidote, please, for anything to cure this disease. Not much to do and there's no one to say I love you too. So I walk the streets at night and find a lover that crave your reaction. By the end of the night, I feel so empty, empty, empty. Yeah, little modulation. Not much to do and there's no one to say I love you to. So I walk the streets at night. I find a lover that'll simply do. Keep girls in action. I crave your reaction. By the end of the night, I feel so empty, empty, empty. Oh, God,
All right.
it's been a while. Leave that alone. Sorry, I've totally royally screwed that up, but
Oh.
yeah.
That was great,
It's
though.
thank
Yeah, I
you.
really
Yeah,
like that.
that's I get a little like weird and emotional when I play that, so I got nervous doing that one, but
It's a poppier one
yeah.
too.
It's poppy. It's slower than it would be again on the EP, just kind of toning it down for today, but
Well, you
Yeah.
can only do so much.
I only do so much. But yeah, that was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's like feeling it a little bit, you know.
It's so hard for me not to sing along.
Yeah,
We're
you
so used to
could've.
singing it
You
together.
could've. She's great. She does harmonies. Maybe on the next song I sing. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but
What? So I've seen you on Instagram with with a full band and
Mhm.
everything like that.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Who are you playing with?
Who am I playing with? I have a girl who I usually use for bass. She's been like my primary person since I started the project at the shows that I've played. And it's Amanda Rissa, and she's great. And I met her at the new school. She was in my songwriting course, and she's she's a hired gun. Like, that's what she does. She does Broadway stuff. She does metal. She does jazz. She's all around great. And she loves the music, so I trust her. I really
Cool.
I trust her playing live. And the drummers, I have like 4 or 5 guys that I could call up anytime, and they kind of know my set. So if I need somebody, but I've been using this guy Devin, who just smashes, and he's awesome. Devin Collins, this guy Oscar Hagdahl, who's from Finland, and he's just this little teddy bear monster drummer, great guy. So I have a couple of guys who are my go-tos.
Jeez,
Yeah.
is it difficult? With so many people on the hook and not like a solid like band put together.
I actually find it easier for me anyway, because I'm dealing with less personalities, less like drama. So these guys they get there. I can trust them, and I trust that they know the material well, and we'd only rehearse like twice beforehand. Like, I know that they're solid. But I kind of miss having like a solid bunch that I travel with. I'm trying to kind of hone that in now and like really lay down a solid lineup for myself.
It sounds to me more like you're just trying to find your sound and you don't want anybody hindering it. That's all that that says to me.
Yeah, I've been
Not
in
hindering it, but you know what I mean.
I've been in so many projects where there have been tug of wars or like problems with personalities or issues in a recording session where people disagree, and it's nice to know that I have complete control. Not that I'm a control freak, but that it's nice for once that I have control over my songs.
Yeah.
So it's a good feeling to have these guys on the fly.
They're also such pros.
They're such pros.
Like,
and
they
they're
just
good
walk
people.
in and slay every
Yeah.
single time. Like, not a mistake. Crazy.
Yeah, and they're just good people. And like I said, I've known Amanda for a while, so I trust her, and I know she's good. And yeah, I guess for the next couple of shows, she's going to be on it with me.
So it's never been strange to me to see someone from a band go off and do their own thing, because it makes perfect sense to me. When I was playing with, just my minor little band that I played with in my early 20s, they'd bring stuff to the table, and I'm like, I don't really want to play that.
Right. Whether it's musical or like even political stuff, like where we're playing, or like, if you're dealing with 4 people, you have to all be aware of everybody's schedules and be aware of how much time and money it takes to get from A to B with these people, and if you
There's levels of passion
and
too
exactly
as well. Like you're like way up here and
Right.
somebody's a little bit below you, it doesn't
and
work
then
out.
there's
Yeah,
nobody
like when your
there pulling
co-host
the
won't
weight.
wear a T-shirt ever.
I'm wearing a t-shirt. This is a really nice t-shirt.
Oh,
I
no,
like
I wasn't
shirt.
implying.
Like
I wasn't
the-
implying he never wore a shirt. I was implying that he didn't wear a shirt for the podcast that he's 50% of.
You're not supposed to wear your own shirt.
You are. You are if it's a podcast.
Podcast, right. I mean,
If you own a brewery, if you own a podcast, if you own a business, you are supposed to wear your own merch.
but if you're a band,
if you're a band,
you're wearing your own
you
shit on
you
stage.
should wear your own merch, not playing.
Not playing
Because
ever.
everyone knows you're in the band
Right.
when you're playing. But
unless you have team
like,
jackets or you're
yeah.
Shana Na, I don't want to fucking see it.
But it's, I mean, probably 50% of our listeners have gone to me, like, have found out about the show, like, what's Dead Radio Podcast? And I go, that's my podcast. And then I'll include Ryan in the conversation if he's 4 feet away from me, if he was wearing a shirt. But I say it's my podcast until he starts participating.
No shoes, no shirts, no service.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's definitely different. If I were in a band, I wouldn't wear my own merch for
You
sure.
have a
Outside
tattoo
is fine.
too.
Yeah, we Hudson Valley Tattoo Company did this for us.
Oh, you
yeah,
got the
so we have
tattoo.
matching
Mine's hidden.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I put it out there for everyone to see every day, and I wear the shirt every day, so it looks ridiculous.
The same shirt every day?
Not the
same
same
shirt.
shirt, the same style
You're like
shirt.
Devin.
I make
So
these.
you're like Devin.
I make these myself.
He's
so they
like
cost me
Jack
$2.
Reacher. He goes home and he washes
Yeah, I have
that
a
shirt
screen-
in the
I have a
sink.
screen printer. Yeah. No, it's like in Fight Club, like with a toothbrush,
Right.
washing my one shirt. No, I probably have 30 of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Anyway,
So anyway,
Anyway,
so one more?
sure.
You got it in you?
Yeah, I got it in me.
You want to do backups?
I don't know. Do you want to do backups for Dead Man's Shuffle?
Oh man. I could try.
Okay. So I have this song. It's not about it's not really about a personal experience that I've had, but it's basically for anybody who has been assaulted in some way, either sexually or abused, and you're fed up with your abuser, so you kill him. It's basically a punk rock goodbye.
why's it got to be a him?
Well, it's a him. Right now. Right now, it's a him. It could be a her. It could be a they, them, whatever you prefer.
It's another
Stop
happy.
gendering your assaulter.
Write that down. So another happy song is what you're saying.
They're real happy. You could see the
You're-
train that I'm on
You're
here.
just you're just all rainbows and sunshine.
Rainbows and sunshine, always. This song is called Dead Man's Shuffle.
All right.
This guy I knew, he liked to push me around. So I took him to a place no one would hear a sound. I pushed him over, shot at his shoulder with my 45. While he was screaming, I aimed again and shot him between the eyes. Yeah, I killed him and I killed him again. His reign of terror had to come to an end. Now I'm happier than I'll ever be. He'll never abuse another girl, now he's beneath the sea. So his arms went limp, his eyes glazed over with fear. Although the fog crept in, my mind was crystal clear. couple of hefty bags and a bottle of bleach. Some people say it takes an ocean to wash their guilt away. All it really took for me was a couple of hefty bags and a bottle of bleach. Yeah, I killed him and I killed him again. His reign of terror had to come to an end. Now I'm happier than I'll ever be. He'll never abuse another girl, now he's beneath the sea. Yeah, I killed him and I killed him again. His reign of terror had to come to an end. Now I'm happier than I'll ever be. He'll never abuse another girl, now he's beneath the
All right, man. That was good. I like that one a lot.
Thank you so much.
Got that blues riff in there. I
Got
love it.
Yeah, man.
And once I heard that, I was like, ooh. Yeah, that one's cool. I like that one a lot.
Thank you.
You ran the gamut there. Punk, pop punk, and then now like blues punk.
A little bit of a shuffle.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's going to be on the EP
That's
as well?
on the EP as well.
Oh, I love it. Very cool.
Faster.
A little faster with
Faster
some
and louder.
solos,
Yeah.
with some guitar stuff. Yeah, it's
Very cool.
rad.
All right. You want to regroup? Come
Yeah,
back?
let's take a real quick. Do you want to play?
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the
Yeah.
actual.
That way, everybody can get a
Hear
taste
what
of
it
it.
sounds like plugged in.
So that'll be a pretty short break, right? How long is that
It's
song?
like 2:45.
Yeah, it's
2:45.
2:45.
That's enough time for me to pee.
Yeah, sure. You're very fast.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
All right.
I figure while you can't contain it, don't want to hear your explanation. We've had our better days. Most been in a foggy haze. I wake up every single day. Never waste my time to pray for no more dreaded fights with you. Call me a bitch, I guess it's true. If you see me tonight, I will be the bitch you like. And if you see me alive, and I'll tell you where I was last night. Harmonies that sang so sweet off Latin notes. Now at our feet, you were my muse. Now you're mad that world news. As much as I would love to lie, break you down and make you cry. Rather watch you die alone and not have one to call your own. If you see me tonight, I will be the bitch you like. And if you see me alive, and I'll tell you where I was last night. You think I'm nasty, you think I'm vile. You don't trust me or my lifestyle. That makes me sick. Don't give a fuck what you think. And I guess that makes me. Well, I guess that makes me a fucking bitch. If you see me tonight, I will be the bitch you like. And if you see me alive, and I'll tell you where I was last night.
This is Magus Peter H. Gilmore, High Priest of the Church of Satan. Listen to Dead Radio Podcast, or you won't make it into hell. Hail, Satan!
What?
I
Yeah.
just heard the conversation. shit, that's funny.
No, it was down here. I opened it before she started playing.
Hours ago.
Yeah. No, I had two. Just because I didn't offer them to you didn't mean that I had less than one.
I see how it is.
Oh, man.
I've got PBR.
Very quick break with song "Bitch" by Monte. The full version.
Monte.
The angry version.
I didn't remember.
I guess they were both angry. One was just quieter.
I did not recall the burp at the end.
Yeah,
I love it. It's awesome.
Thanks.
It reminds me of that song that's not did with what's her name? What's the lead singer of the Lunatics?
Theo Kogan.
Yeah, they did a song called Mr. Brett about what the hell is his name from was Social Distortion? Brett, what's his nuts?
That's Mike Ness, right?
No, it's Brett. Mr. Brett is his like fucking is what he's known as in the fucking
You need, like, a
Brett
phone a friend.
Gurewitz. Bad Religion.
Bad
That was
Religion.
it. Yeah, they were talking shit about him, but
Gotcha.
she does like a fart noise, like she goes at the end of the song. It's fucking hilarious. But we were talking. Andy was talking on the break, and I wanted to touch on this real quick. You were saying how you love her music, Caitlin's music so much because it's such a blend of different things put together. As we heard from those three songs, it was very straightforward, kind of like 80s inspired, 80s heavy metal inspired punk, and then more of a pop punk kind of direction, and then more of a bluesier direction. And I think that is kind of a problem nowadays, in my opinion, for some music. I think that yours is cohesive and it sounds great. But there's a lot of bands that are doing this kind of crossover thing, and it's not with this. This all that music kind of lines up with one another, and you could take elements, and everything's gonna kind of fit into pieces. But then you got bands like not to compare the two, but Imagine Dragons, for instance, they're considered an alternative band. Yet it's very very poppy. There's alternative elements, but that fucking crossover that they've got going on where they're being played
like
on
dubstep, like it's like got the electronic like
it's just weird, and I find that
it's not good is what it is.
Well, I think they're the fucking worst thing that's out there right now. They're all that's wrong with alternative music, in my opinion. But however,
every time I turn on WRV, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I just change the station immediately.
But it's
Possum Kingdom or some dog shit.
It's bred this kind. I keep saying crossover because Taylor Swift did that whole thing, pop and country.
Right.
They merged them together and became this huge juggernaut. And I see bands trying to do this, and it's just like, guys, just slow the fuck down, play your roots. I mean, maybe I just think that all that smushing together of all different stuff just it doesn't.
Vomit.
It's not focused. It seems to me like you get stuff like yours where it's just like, yup, that's what Caitlin's about. I know that, just there's this mishmash of music that's being thrown around, and I think it just becomes noise after that. Not noise like noise rock. I mean, just
noise. Like it's too much. It's like sensory overload sometimes, and I feel like there's a line that either you're one of those bands where every one of your songs sounds the same. Every one of your songs sounds like a Green Day song.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're that band where it's like, all right, let's see what we can do if we do punk rock and country, like some weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like vomit, in my opinion. It's like putting two things that don't make sense and still don't make sense, even when you but it's not so much punk rock and country, but taking like
I was going to say Hank 3's
no,
kind of
I
badass.
was going to say like rockabilly, and of course there are some things
right.
where obviously you can take the two. Like it's fun to do a Johnny Cash song once in a while, just like double tempo.
Sure.
But there's a difference between like having this electro synth pop alternative and have it just be this sameness that's on the radio. It's all the same kind of like in my face garbage of wall of electronic beep boop beep beeps.
Yeah.
All over
I listen to Skrillex and I listen to I just had them in my head and now they're gone. I listen to Skrillex and I listen to this punk band and I listen to shit. I just lost it all. I had a really good point and now it's gone. Forget it.
I mean, I'll just chime in and say is like I guess I sit in a slightly unique position because as someone who's booking shows and crafting events, I like artists who can kind of fit a couple different boxes, right? Because like I can put Monte on a bill that's straight rock and roll. I can put Monte on a bill that's punk. I can put Monte on a bill that's poppy rock. Like there's a lot I can kind of fit it into, and it all feels like it works.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, my personal taste. I like a little more hard focus. You know, it just I find this, you know, it's just some of the mishmash kind of gets. But I understand exactly what you're saying.
It creates some more opportunity sometimes.
Right.
I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I think that you're an example of something that works.
Yeah, doing
and
it
he's
right.
talking about an example of something that does not work.
Right.
Like Beyonce doing country music.
Oh, well,
Sure.
it's like, yeah.
It was cool. I've been as Beyonce.
But it was, right.
But like we were talking to Shadow Witch about potentially playing at Creator Fest, and it wouldn't have fit.
No.
It wouldn't have fit at all because they're like straight late 60s, early 70s metal,
doom
like
metal.
Ozzy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have their genre, and it's amazing music, and I love it. But we were pairing that with singer-songwriters, so we needed it to be somewhat cohesive. So we put the weirder, harder bands towards the end, and it worked out great.
Pitchfork
But had we
Sunrise,
had
for
them
instance.
there, but it fit, it worked. It wasn't like a record scratchy slam to a halt with what we're doing. Now we're doing something else.
Right.
So so I get your perspective,
Yeah.
but.
And like
Yeah.
it fits everything that I kind of grew up with. With the punk rock, classic rock, and also pop music. And I listen to a lot of like weird, crappy rap music. And like I don't know what I really took away from that, other than like now I can recite all the words to a Ludacris song. But like, I mean, I feel like because I have listened and I appreciated so many different styles of music that they've all kind of influenced me in some way, especially, and I know I get a lot of shit for this, but I used to love ska. I was in a ska band, and I was one of those weird, like, two-tone kids.
Perfect Thyroid.
I mean,
Hudson
you
Valley
were-
Legends.
Well, you were probably
Yeah.
what, like 15?
Yeah,
It
I
was
was
like really
15.
big.
I was
yeah.
even younger, probably, when
Yeah.
it was really big. And I mean, yeah, like...
Yeah, probably because we were probably 16, 17.
Ska
when it
was
really big.
huge. That went into
Yeah.
like the big.
Caitlin was 5.
Yeah.
No, in like 2001, 2002.
So,
I
yeah,
was
we were
like in
18.
fifth grade.
Yeah.
I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 18, 19, and
Yeah, we're old as shit.
But it was like the third gen ska. Like I loved Less Than Jake, and like I don't know, Real Big Fish was
Yeah.
okay, but like
Real Big Fish.
like,
Jump
I
right-
mean,
oh no,
They
that's
were
that's
not.
the very-
they
were not
weren't
okay.
like
Real
like,
Big Fish.
everybody. They were so gimmicky,
Yeah.
gimmicky. But like, yeah, they were great musicians, and I appreciated them. And I wrote a bunch of ska songs.
Mighty
and I-
Mighty Boss Stones.
Yeah, I love the Mighty Boston. They're great. I love them. I mean, Skank and Pickle, like I love them too. And I grew up listening to a shit ton of Sublime. Like I love Sublime.
I still like Sublime.
I still
Yeah.
listen, and I'll
Sublime's
still
awesome.
listen to Smoke Two Joints while I smoke 2 joints, and then I'll smoke 2 more, and it's awesome.
Ska. Wow.
Right? It's
What a
awful.
time.
Can you? It's gonna come back. I
Which-
know
It's
it's going. I
making
know
a
it's gonna
comeback.
come
The
back.
Interrupters
Yeah.
are big now, and that's all ska music.
And it,
like-
it gave way to like Brian Setzer had his like rebirth
Yeah.
in the early 2000s because of that. Like he
Yeah.
came back. And what was that other that craze? The band, the Squirrel Nut Zippers,
Yeah.
and
the Jellyfish were another thing.
the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Do you
Cherry
remember
Poppin'?
them?
I
It was like big
don't
band.
think
It
I
was
do.
like big band music. It wasn't even like they were like, oh, ska's big now. Well, let's just do big band and mask it. And
Well,
they
yeah.
did, and they fucking won. They won.
Well, like stuff like Fishbone, it's classic. Or I used to go to
Fishbone's
the
great. Yeah.
used to go to the 3 floors of ska when it was at the Knitting Factory in the city when it was in the Lower East Side, and I used to
Fucking Green Day.
yeah, fucking
You
Green
said
Day.
Green Day before.
Yeah.
Green Day's second album, or not second album. I'm sorry.
It's not Dookie.
Nimrod.
Nimrod, yeah.
They had a song on it called "King for a Day," and they had a whole horn section with it.
Everybody was in on that ska shit because it brought in the bucks. That's why everybody started hating those ska bands because they were a bunch of sellouts. I mean, I don't know, but I still like it. I still like to bop around. It's danceable. It's sing-alongable. Like nothing wrong with a good ska song once in a while.
Drove me nuts. We had to compete again. we had to compete against a ska band at a competition we did for the school I went to.
Were there like
my
15
band.
of them in the band?
Oh my God! We're waiting. It was only a 4-piece, and we're waiting. And then we were like the first guys there to do the whole rehearsal type thing for the entire event. and everybody was there just seeing what music. We would play 3 songs, and they're like, all right, play these 2 instead, whatever. But these guys came in, and they had a saxophone, a couple trumpets, trombone player, and then the guitar player, the bass player, the drummer, and the singer. I was just like, holy fucking shit. The stage is this big. We're all gonna be butt fucking each other on stage. And you got the fucking, army band in to play
Count
back.
Basie's whole band. I mean, yeah, the first time I did like real live sound, I got thrown into doing like a 10-piece like ska Motown band, and I was just like, well, fuck. Like it was weird. It was a weird.
Just setting up ribbon mics in front of the horns.
It was just not even because I was working in a venue that didn't even like have the right gear, so it was just me troubleshooting all night like a fucking dingus. It was like, it was such a shit show.
That's a very not used enough word.
Put hashtag dingus
I'm
down.
a dingus.
I love that word. That's great. Somebody called Christian a dweeb the other day at the coffee
Christian
shop.
is a dweeb.
Another word that's not used enough.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, that's a good word. That's a very good word. I don't know. Where are we? We good? What do you think?
Yeah, we're like hour 40.
Yeah, I think I mean,
Yeah, 140.
it's either I'm like completely silent or I can't shut the fuck up. So like that's like one or two. Oh, that's my Grammy Award music. Get off the stage.
Well, real quick, I like to save this question. This is my favorite question to ask. Everybody who listens to the show knows it. The first album you ever bought. Title and artist.
First album I ever bought. What?
Keep in mind that there's been hardcore bands on here that have said, MC Hammer, you can't touch
mine is
this.
going to be like that because I mean, like I said, I had that weird hip hop thing. I had a lot
I've
of
seen
CDs
pictures to prove it.
Well, I had a lot of CDs handed down to me from my brother, so like I had a lot of Sabbath at a very young age. But the first thing I bought at like a Sam Goody or a Virgin Record
There
is
you
really
go.
embarrassing, and it's TLC's Fan Mail.
Nice.
Oh, not even crazy.
No, it's
Fan Mail.
Fan
Not
Mail.
even the
Like
good
it,
one.
no,
He said.
it was like 2000. No, not the good one. The really
Oh,
shitty. And it was the unedited version, and I was in 5th grade, and I would just scream obscenities up and down my hallway.
Oh,
Like it was
no.
horrible.
What was on that? I gotta know now. Singles. Fan
Silly
Mail.
Ho. That was the good one.
Silly Ho.
That was the one I always used to sing, too.
Ah.
You're a silly hoe.
It was so gross.
No Scrubs.
No
That was the big
Scrubs.
one.
That was the big one. And I think Unpretty was on there as well.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fan Mail,
you know,
No
you know
Scrubs,
the
and Unpretty.
TLC discography. That's
Right?
a lot.
I know, it's really messed up. But I was into that. I love the R&B stuff.
I fucking love TLC. They were
Same,
coming
man.
up when I was in my, formidable years.
Yeah.
They're great to watch.
Formidable?
Formidable? What did I say?
You said formidable, which meant that you were strong and scary.
Ah.
What's the word you're looking for?
I don't know. Whatever you just
Is it
said.
formative?
Formative, yeah.
Yeah.
Formative
Formative
years.
years.
Yes.
My formidable years.
Formidable.
When
Formidable
people were
years.
scary.
Penetrable years.
Sorry. I'm not very good with words. So, thank you so much. Oh my God, everything just went away. Thank you so much for coming on. Monte.music on Instagram. Also, check out Women That Rock on Instagram as well. WomenThatRock.co. C-O.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pink and shit.
Women That Rock is a music curation and discovery platform that is dedicated to promoting and supporting the best up-and-coming women in music. I think it's pretty fucking awesome.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see, I'm just glad to see small, clusters of, scenes and everything like that popping up and forming. Around here, there's a really good scene, music scene coming out of Kingston at the moment and then in that area. And just
and we're really trying to cultivate around here. Like, we're not musicians ourselves, but
Poughkeepsie's kind of funny now.
I think we can get there. I think with Creator Fest and really giving people a platform to come in here, play music, get it recorded, and put it out there. Because a lot of we got Banjo in a couple of weeks. He's never recorded anything. He just plays open mic.
Yeah,
and he's not serious enough about it to put money into it. I would think. But maybe if he had something, he could put it on his Facebook page, and that might get him a little bit of notoriety. And he's an interesting one. You should listen to that episode.
Banjo?
That's his is it's like punk bluegrass.
I love that. I love bluegrass. I'm into
It's
it.
just yelling about heroin and playing an acoustic guitar really fast.
Love it. I'm into it already.
That's amazing.
It's just great, you know, local bands, unsigned bands, getting a spotlight on them because, you know, the music world right now, it's great because the artists have a lot of control over, you know, where their music goes, where they're signed to, how they're recorded and everything like that. But, you know, the spotlight is still on the people that are on the radio and everything like that. And I think there's plenty of great local music that people can listen to and highlighting all that in this. Is it just
No.
this area? But it's all over.
So far we've done our events in the New York area just because that's where
You're
we
based
are.
out of.
But we represent and promote artists from not only all around the country but all around the world. I mean, I've represented and promoted artists from Russia, from the Ukraine, from Italy, from
the UK,
the Maldives, like all over the map.
Yeah, fantastic.
And we have a show scheduled in October in Vermont, in Burlington, which is a really cool scene right now. That's our first like out of state show.
So many good breweries there.
Oh yeah,
We're doing a show
doing
at
it
a brewery.
home.
Yeah, at Foam Brewers.
When is that?
October 13th.
All right. I'm
Come
gonna
to
have
Burlington.
I'll go.
14th? Whatever that Friday.
Whatever that
is.
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah.
And we have plans for a show in LA and London and
possibly Creator Fest in Pickett.
Oh yeah.
Hell
shit.
yes.
I would love to get because we didn't have any female fronted bands
What?
besides
See,
for
that's
Plaid
the
Nation
problem.
Revival.
No,
we
there
had
it is.
Midway.
Oh, in Midway. So we
Yeah.
had 2. Yeah, so that's good. But I would love to see more than that.
Sure.
you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
I've already got ideas. I have so
Cool.
many ideas.
Yeah, I mean, Creator Fest is kind of like a very Hudson Valley thing, but I would really like to get bands that are kind of from different places, especially
Yeah.
with a bit of notoriety that might get some people up from the city to check it out and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And
So
I'm sure you have
if you've
people
got
up
like yourself and maybe one other band on the top of your head,
Yeah.
because we definitely we want it to be, I don't know, this year definitely we're going to keep trying to make Vassar a big part of it.
Yeah.
But it just the timing of it is just tough because the best time to do it is summer, and they're all gone.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
May's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. They're
right
like
before
need
finals.
Mhm.
Yeah,
you know.
need to like
Yeah.
blow off some steam.
Yeah,
That's good.
except it rains.
Well,
It
we're,
was
we're here to
the
help.
weekend. The weekend of May 5th, which we didn't do it because we didn't want to compete with Cinco de Mayo bar crowd.
Right.
It was 75 degrees and sunny all weekend. Then the following weekend, it was 55 degrees and it rained all day.
Oh no.
We still had a good turnout. We still made money for the first year. That's, I mean, to even break even, we would have been happy. But we made some money for the charity and stuff like
awesome.
that.
That's
So,
great.
yeah, but we'll talk about it.
Cool, man.
Everyone who's listened to the show has
Oh,
heard this to death. So,
Well, we're here to help. Happy to
yeah.
help.
If you want to check out Monte, check out monte.music on Instagram. Also,
what's with the name?
Oh yeah, we didn't ask.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's just a play on my last name, Montclair. So
Oh.
I just Monty. I feel like, and it's a nickname that I've had on and off. So I decided, why not? Short, simple.
And it sounds good.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Easy
Why
to
not?
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those one-word ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The warp, the weft.
Yeah, they got a fucking forward slash in their name.
Yeah, it took me fucking weeks to learn that name.
Fuck, I should have done that.
Yeah. Just put an ampersand
Right.
in there. Just fuck people up.
Monty's playing August 24th at the Knitting Factory and also August 29th at Hank's Saloon in Brooklyn with Basic Bitches, Glazer, and Yoko Forever.
I'll also just chime in and say for the 24th show at Knitting Factory,
Mhm.
I'd be happy if you guys want to do like a ticket giveaway or something, like a
shit.
pair of
Yeah, we
tickets
could
for
do
free
that.
to the show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So-
Can't guarantee they'll get given away.
Well, then
It's
you
a very,
guys will
it's
come.
a very local podcast. But yeah, we could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
we'll talk a little bit after the show, and we'll give me your card.
Yeah.
We still have to exchange stickers. Don't let me forget.
No, I will
I
not.
want stickers.
We'll trade.
Stickers are my favorite.
All right. Thank you so much for
Awesome.
coming on.
Thank you
Um,
guys.
It was a lot of fun.
Yay.
Oh,
So much
yeah,
fun.
yeah. Absolutely. We got to do titles.
Uh,
We do show titles. Adam's been writing down, obviously. I've been writing down all kinds of stuff.
so you guys do have a say.
This is going to be the title
Yeah.
of the episode.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you guys do have a say.
All right.
So give us your best arguments.
All right.
So we have there was an adult baby.
When was that?
That was the
Oh,
which was like it was very
video,
Brooklyn.
video.
shoot. Okay.
Punk rock and noise.
all right.
I got sushi and sat in a closet. Stop gendering your assailant.
I kind of like that
Brett, what's his nuts?
Yeah, Mr. Brett. Okay.
Sing-alongable, which if you don't pick that one, that's a hashtag for sure. And silly ho, that was the good one.
Oh man, those are all great.
That's it?
Yeah, that's,
I was
that's
waiting,
what I got.
I was waiting for
no,
Dingus.
That's no, Dingus would be a hashtag.
Dingus is definitely. I mean, we could title the show Dingus.
It's totally fine.
If it was like if I got the whole sentence, then maybe we could do that.
I heard. I wrote "Bring on Shauna Na." I don't know. I don't remember what that was in context.
Do you have a vote?
I don't have a vote. What do you?
My vote is silly ho.
Silly ho.
Silly ho, that's the good one.
That's the good one. That's so ridiculous. Why not? I'm a silly ho, right?
I got sushi and sat in a closet.
I like that too. It's pretty good.
What do you think?
Take my
Bash?
sad memories and use it for your fun.
I mean, stop gendering your assailant
That's
is
pretty
really
good.
good, but I think I said like assault something.
I don't remember.
So there might be a corrections and omissions in store when I re-listen.
Assailant's definitely not the word you used.
I said assaulter or
Assaulter.
Assaulter. That's not the right word.
Certainly is not.
My formidable years.
Yeah, my formidable year. That would have been a good one to write down.
I mean,
but
we
out
could-
of context, it makes him sound like a badass. But when I'm just like, your formidable years,
I
when
was-
everyone was scared of you,
I
because
was-
that didn't exist.
Yeah, I was never scary ever.
Ate sushi and Santa Claus. Is that what your vote is? What's your vote?
I'm trying to figure it out.
I like punk rock and noise, too.
Yeah, it fits.
It fits.
They're all pretty good. There's
is
no like real
difficult.
standout.
What was the sushi one again? I can't see it.
I got sushi and sat in a closet.
Silly ho.
Well, we're gonna hashtag sing-alongable.
Yeah.
And hashtag dingus.
I'm gonna go with silly ho. I think
ho?
that's
Yeah,
the good one.
Silly
That's the
ho.
good one.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
go with it. I will defer to you guys.
Silly ho.
All right.
That's the good one. Hashtag.
Wouldn't you want to listen to that?
I think
I've never heard it. I mean, maybe I've heard it. But
No,
I-
the episode with the title "Silly Ho." That's the good
Oh,
one.
okay. I thought she wanted.
No,
I
no,
thought
no,
she was
no,
asking
no.
if I wanted to listen to a TLC song. The answer to that is
Yeah.
no.
There's. We have an episode called "I'll Fart in Your Mouth." So
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
That's the
one.
best title.
Yeah,
That is
there's.
Yeah.
There's.
Especially because
You know.
Amy, I think I talked about it on the show, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I can't believe there's not a title about the black dildo.
there is.
Staring
It's
in the
the Dong Gong Thong song
Good.
was named after that. Yeah. For some reason, the thong song came up. That was with Bram Kim
Yeah,
from Bad Seed Cider.
The I guess the reason for the dildo is it was a going away gift from a job I left that I worked at for 10, almost 10 years, and we use it to, instead of saying that's what she said, we do that.
Yeah.
We just didn't get there today.
Yeah.
Tonight. So
There probably would have been a couple in there.
all right. So yeah, we got the title.
So
we got the hashtags.
Very quickly, we need to do plugs after this.
Yes,
let's
let's
not
not
forget. But we will also, I don't know, maybe talk about it at the beginning of this episode for the people listening. But next week we will be at Darkside Records.
Ah, yes.
Hopefully streaming live if their internet doesn't suck.
Mm-hmm.
But likely it'll just be a download only show. We'll see how it goes. But we're going to be doing an event called Knitting is Metal at Darkside Records. There's the event is called the Stitchin' Bitch.
Yep.
Where you learn how to knit
And complain?
And, yeah.
And listen to metal.
That's awesome.
You just sit around and talk
amazing.
shit
Let's go.
and listen to nothing but Saint Anger by Metallica because apparently it's the best metal album ever.
That is
according
a
to Tony
direct
O'Dell.
quote from Tony O'Dell, who is knitting his metal.
Yes. So we will be listening to Saint Anger, hopefully, and annoying everyone, and learning how to knit. Bosch is going to knit a dick hat, and I'm going to knit a beer koozie or a handgun holster, whichever is easier.
All right. So, yeah, that's it.
just jump on Knitting is Metal. You'll see, the event's on our page. It's on their page. Pay $10. You get everything you need to knit something.
Anything.
So, yeah.
All right,
Even
that's
a dick
it.
hat.
Andy, thank you.
Thanks.
Caitlin,
Thank you
Monte,
very much.
thank you. Until next week, kids.
silly hoe.
You silly hoe.
You silly hoe. That's the good one.